Welcome back to the Parallel Universe. I'm your host, Logan Bruce. And you know, hold on for a second, you guys. Hold on. I hope this thing is still recording. Oh yeah, I guess it is. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Let's see. Delete that. Okay, and start with I can delete all this stuff. This boy. Anyway. Welcome back to the Parallel Universe. I'm your host, Logan Bruce, and I know it's been a minute, you guys. Well, we've been moving and we are still getting things settled in and everything, but we're back and in a new Square Table studio. So it's fun. Well, moving's not fun. Moving is absolutely horrible. I don't recommend it for anybody. If you plan on moving, don't just stay where you're at. Moving is terrible. Um, and one reason why moving is terrible is because moving costs money, and I don't have a lot of that. So I had to, kind of sneak stuff in and tell people different things so I could get in this place and all that. No, I'm just joking about that. I didn't. Well, the sneaking part is true, but don't tell anybody. Don't. But anyway, moving was fun, and we're in a new place and everything, and we hope it's for the best, and we really think it is. So I appreciate everyone being patient with us as we, get this thing straight. But I digress. So what are we going to talk about on this episode of Parallel Universe? I mentioned money, and it got me to thinking. Well, me and Mitchie, we were thinking about cartoons and comics and sci-fi and everything, and how much or the money that was used in these, different uh, areas, in different genres. And so I said, well, I wonder how much the money that was used in the cartoons, comics, and sci-fi, how much they're worth. So I did a little research into digging and couldn't find a whole lot, but I have come up with a list of money and things that were used in cartoons, comics, and sci-fi. So first up, we got one of my favorite cartoons of all time. We got the Thundercats. Now we all know what the Thundercats is and what it was about and everything. But the question is, did they have money? Did they use some form of currency or anything on Thundera or on Thera? And let's see. No, Thundercats didn't have money. So nope. I mean, there was something called what vibranium or dun not vibranium. Lord have mercy. Dun I can't remember what it's called. Dundarium or something like that. That was very expensive, or it was a resource that the Thundercats used, and so if you want to consider that money, you can. But it was just something that the Thundercats used to make their weapons and tools and different things like that. So, but Thundarium, I think is what it was called. But a form of like a currency, like paper money or coins. Nope, none of that. So, nope. Okay, so another one of my favorite cartoons. That was sort of the same thing, Thundercats, but in outer space, was the Silverhawks. So the question is, did the Silverhawks living, in outer space in their universe, did they have a form of currency? And the answer to that is, yeah, they did. They did. Now, somebody's coming into the studio. I don't know who it is. Who's coming in the studio?
It's Mitchie.
Oh, Mitchie is coming in the studio. Hey, Mitchie.
Hello.
Did you bring me something to eat?
Yeah.
Which means no. Okay, so back to the Silverhawks and their money. They did have money. Now they didn't really have a name for this form of currency or the value of it, so I don't know how much it was worth. But they did. There was this planet called what was the name of the planet? The planet was called Dolar, and it's almost like dollar, but only one L, Dolar. And they said that Dolar had plenty of money. And then it was like a bank. It was like a a planetary bank is what it was almost. And there was also a robot who's the chief security guard there on Dolar, and his name was GoBucks or Got Bucks. And you can find this episode as season 1, episode 6, and season 1, episode 34 that mentions Dollar and Got Bucks. So some people say that the name of the currency was either dollars or got bucks because of the planet and because of the chief security officer that was a robot. So there you go, dollars or got bucks, whichever one you want to call it. But that's just what some people say because they're referring to those two episodes that mention dollar and got bucks. So there you go, go buck, got bucks, and dollar. But they didn't ever have they didn't have like a name like dollar or anything like that. So, but they did have a form of currency. So pretty cool. Okay, so moving right along, we're going on to another cartoon. Then this wasn't I didn't grow up with this cartoon, so to speak. I grew up with the original version of it. It's Voltron, but then that never really mentioned any kind of a currency that they had there on in Voltron's universe. But Voltron, the legendary defender, in that reboot, they did have a form of currency, and it was the Gora or authorized currency, or the GAC. Um, and this was because the Gora controlled most of the universe. I mean, it was pretty much run by them, and so their currency that they came up with was widely accepted, and so people had these GACs, and that's what they would use as currency. But I couldn't find out how much it was worth, so I didn't know if it was worth one. Gora authorized currency was worth $1, $2. I couldn't find out how much it was worth, but they did have a form of currency. So we see Thundercats, no. Silverhawks, yes, and Voltron also had currency. So those are some cartoons that I was thinking about that had currency. Now there is one other cartoon, and that cartoon that really got me thinking about the currency, because this was like one of the first cartoons that I ever heard that actually had a name for their currency, and that was Alf. Now, if you grew up in the '80s, you remember Alf was a sitcom, and Alf stands for alien life form. But that's not what his name was. That's what the family that adopted him when he crashed to Earth called him. An alien life form. So Alf, for short. And this cartoon is what really kind of sparked the debate on currency and everything in cartoons. And and it's funny because Mitchie, who you just saw or heard come in, uh, she this is when she asked for money. This is what she asked for. This is how she asked for it. And the name of their currency was called a Warnick. And you can find there's many episodes that mention a Warnick, but the first time it was ever mentioned in the cartoon, oh, I didn't even say it was a cartoon. I told it was a sitcom, but then it was, it became a cartoon later on. And I think I'm saying 87, I think, or I do believe. But anyway, the first time that the Warnick was mentioned was in season 1, episode 2, called Hair Today, Ball Tomorrow. Now, Alf, or Gordon Shumway, which is his real name, his pet bird name, what's his pet bird's name? Ah, shoot, can't think of his pet bird's name. And that bird was terrible. Harry, the bird's name was Harry. Harry was just terrible, and Harry was making a nest, and so Harry was taking Gordon's hair and making him a nest. So Gordon wakes up and he thinks that he's going bald. So he goes to Madame Poughkeepsie, who was supposed to be, I guess she would be their form of a witch doctor, to grow hair, because he ran into this guy in a diner and he had this voluptuous hair and everything. And so he goes to Madame Poughkeepsie to try to get, his hair back. And she says, it normally costs for the spell that she put on him. It costs 20 warnings, I think. But she was running a special, so she only charged him 10. So 10 warning. And he undid her spell and everything, and he went and made fun of her, and so she cursed him, and every time he touched somebody, they would lose their hair. And and so then he goes home and he touches his dog, and the dog's hair falls out. He realizes, oh Lord, it's the curse, and now he's scared. And his sister's baby sister named Augie, she couldn't sleep, and she wants a huggy. And so now Gordon is trying to dodge and get away from her. In fact, I think I might go find that episode and watch it because it's really funny. I mean, it's hilarious. And so he's dodging, trying to get away from her, and she jumps into his arms, and all her hair falls out. So now she's crying, and he's scared. So he takes her to bed and says, "Look, just stay under these covers and don't tell mom and dad until I get back." And then now he's trying to bribe her, and he's asking her, does she want ice cream? Does she want this? And then he says money, and she starts smiling. And so he says, "Okay, here's a warning." He gave her a coin, and she says 4 warnings. And so he gives her 4 warnings to keep quiet and everything, and not tell mom and dad. And so that's what their currency is called. It's called a warning, and a warning is actually worth $10. So he gave his little sister $40 to keep quiet. It was funny because when you watch the show, she's sitting there counting, and I'm like, well, why is she counting $4? Because she had 40. I would count, $40 if someone would have given it to me. I said, just be, yeah. But yeah. But like I said, the episode is hilarious. It keeps me laughing. I am definitely going to go find that and watch it. I don't know where it's at or how I can watch it, but I will find it and I will watch it. Yes. So Alpha's another cartoon. I think it's Alpha Ventures or something like that. And yeah, they had currency, and it's called a Warnick, and the Warnick is worth $10. So Mitchie, she calls me up sometimes and says, "Do you have any Warnicks?" I'm telling her no, because I can't keep giving her, $40. I'm not giving her that. She needs a job. Well, she got a job. I'm just joking. But anyway, the Warnick for Alf is funny. Watch it. Y'all love it. I'm telling you. Okay, so now that we have gotten cartoons out of the way, going into comics. So do comic books and comics have currency? Yes, they do. But since most comics rather, take place, here on Earth or in a universe that has an Earth, pretty much dollars are all they use in comic books. So yeah, $5, $10, 20, Um, so yeah, dollars. That's pretty much all I can find in the comic books. Now I know what some of you guys are thinking. I know there's intergalactical planetary people and space folks and everything. And that's true. But they don't really never say, in the comments about, them taking money or accepting money or doing anything. The closest person I could find to having money or talking about money is Lobo. Of course, we know that he's a bounty hunter, and he don't care. He don't care what form of currency you pay him in, as long as it's a lot. That's just that's his rule. I don't care what you pay me in, just make it a lot. So comics have currency, but it's just basically Earth money. So yeah, there we go. Okay, what's next? Okay, so here goes the big ones. Now we know we talked about cartoons, we talked about comics. So now we are in sci-fi. That's what Parallel Universe is all about: cartoons, comics, and sci-fi. So now, of course, the two biggest, I guess, science fiction entities would be Star Wars and Star Trek. So and we all know that Star Wars has currency, but they have a bunch of currency. You might not know this. You might, of course, we all heard of the credit, but they're different. They're different currencies in different places. You have the flan or the Moncala flan that is used, the calamari flan, which is used by the Moncala, and that was like a blue, white, squishy coin, jelly-like coin. And it was used by the Moncala. And in some cases it was more valuable than Imperial credits, especially like in the Outer Rim. But there's not I couldn't find the value of how much just one of those were, because it depends on what you were buying and how much somebody charged. it could be worth a lot or just a little, but it was more valuable in the outer rim than uh, Republic credits or Imperial credits. So there we go. We also have, I think I'm saying this right, the Whipple Wibbles. I might be saying it wrong, but we all saw it in the Phantom Menace when Jar Jar Binks tried to eat that toad, and the innkeeper told him it was 7 Whipples or something like that. And that too was worth more than Republic credits because, of course, it was used in the Outer Rim, and so they didn't take Republic credits that much. But the value of that form of currency was only like 63 cents. But 63 cent versus nothing is still more valuable because they didn't really like Republic credit. So there you go. I mean, yeah. So if somebody let me know exactly how to pronounce that, is it Whoopie Whooples? I don't know. I can't remember. I just know it sounded something like that. And Jar Jar Binks saying Whoopie Whooples or so. But anyway, it was about worth 63 cents. So there you go. And then you also had the CIS, which is the Confederate of Independent Systems form of currency, and that was used mostly by the separatists and separatist worlds and everything like that. And it was introduced by the banking clan. They introduced it, and by the end of the battle of what was it? Battle of Basadora. This credit, the CIS, was held 50% of the value of the Republic credit. So it had got pretty valuable. So especially in the mid rim, and it was used exclusively in hundreds of planets in the outer rim. So there you go, the CIS or the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Okay, you also had the Alliance credit, which was used by the Alliance to restore the Republic. You had Republic credits, which we all know was used during the Galactic Republic, and or sometimes it was called the Galactic credit. The Imperial credit, which replaced the Republic credit, and then you had the New Republic credit that was introduced after the fall of the Empire. So you got several forms of currency that was used in Star Wars. Now, there's another form of currency that I need to talk about, and that was spice. So spice was used in Star Wars, and its value was more in weight, how much you could get of it, but it was worth a lot because 1 kilo of spice was equal to 400. Oh, I'm sorry, 40,000 credits. So pretty expensive. In season 1, episode 11 and 12, we know Count Dooku got captured by Hondo Anaka, one of my favorite characters. I love Hondo. That dude, he's so cool, man. I really like Hondo. And so now he was ransoming Count Dooku off, and he wanted 1 million credits, which equaled 25 kilos of spice. So spice, and we know spice was also used in the syndicates and the trade, criminal underworlds and stuff. They traded spice. That's what they like. Spice was their main form of currency. So there you go, spice. There was another form of currency used by different people in Star Wars. Now, depending on where you're at or who you look up or who you try to find, the value of a credit differs. So like if you go to this theme park called Galaxy's Edge theme park, it's just like a Star Wars theme park. Now those values of the credit kind of differ. So some say that one credit equals $4. Some say a credit equals $1.24, and some say it's an even credit for dollar ratio. So depending on who you ask or what you look up, you're gonna get different values for how much a credit was worth. One source said that the credit was worth $1.34, and that's what they kind of, I guess, it's kind of in the middle, almost sort of. So that's what a lot of people go by this this ratio. $1.34 to one equals one credit. Uh, and by using that ratio, when Luke sold his speeder in Star Wars: A New Hope, his speeder he sold a speeder for $2,680. So Obi-Wan had to fork over a lot of money because he had to pay Han 17,000. So I don't know where Obi-Wan kept it. I don't know, but he told Luke that was enough. So obviously he had 15,000 credits hidden somewhere or something. I don't know. Maybe he was planning on using, Jedi mind trick on Han. Who knows? But anyway, I wonder if that would have worked. No, because Han is not weak-minded, so that probably wouldn't have worked. So I don't know where Obi-Wan had the rest of that money, but he had it somewhere. Well, I wonder if he ever paid Han. Well, no, because he never got him to Alderaan because that. Mhm. So maybe that's what he was going to do. When he got there, he was going to pay him. Yeah, because that's what he said. Once we reach Alderaan, I give you, So, but he never did it, so I'm guessing he never paid Han. I've been kind of mad at Obi-Wan on that one. Then got me all the way up here in this Death Star, fighting Imperial guards and Darth Vader and everything, and I'm not even getting paid. Boy, I would have left every last one of them on Death Star. Y'all ain't coming. Where your money? Y'all got gas money? And so just left them in there. Okay, so Star Wars, we know what form of currency they use there in Star Wars. Now, the other big one, of course, we know is Star Trek. So what form of currency did they have in Star Trek? I know what some of you think. I know exactly what some of you think because that's what I was thinking. Didn't Kirk say they didn't use money in outer space when he was on Earth and he was out on a date eating pizza? I was there. She was like, "Don't tell me y'all don't use money in space." And we don't. So, what kind of currency did they use in space? Well, they use. Now I know one person who listens to this already knows the answer to it. A 5-star tracker. I know you know the answer to this, but I'm gonna give it to you guys anyway, just in case you guys don't know. Uh, the form of currency that they use in Star Trek, mostly, all the time, and if you're a fan of Deep Space Nine, you really know the answer to it. And they use gold pressed latinum. Now, latinum was like a liquid. It's like a liquid form and everything. So that's why it was gold pressed. The gold was to keep it in formed up. Uh, and the latinum is distributed in different, I guess, different forms. So we got quarters, nickels, dimes, dollars, So latinum comes in 4 different, I guess, what do you call them things? I don't know, currency, the notions. I don't know the right word for it. What's broke down into 4. You have slips, strips, bars, and bricks. So you got a slip that's not really worth a whole lot. And then it takes what is it, 100 strips. No, 100 slips equals 1 strip. And then 20 strips equals 1 bar. Now, I'm not sure how much the bricks were worth. I don't know how many bricks you needed to have. I mean, bars you need to have to make a brick, but it's a lot. But I don't really know the value of the slips, strips, bars, or bricks. But slips probably was less than $1, somewhere around 20 cents or so. 7 slips to ride the elevator. 5 slips for this. Just change. So a slip, equals probably a dime or so, something like that. And then you had strips, was probably around about $20. So like 5 strips of 5 strips could buy a Starfleet uniform. So that's about $100 from Garrett Shop on Deep Space Nine. And then a bar was probably around $400. Um, so Court, I remember there was an episode and Court paid like $3 for a mixed wreckage of a starship. So it was a starship and he paid $3. So you're looking at what, $1,200. So yeah, so that's how much a brick was worth. Uh, I think there was something else. I can't remember the other example of the bars that I found. Now the bricks were a little more. They were around like about $10,000 because one episode Court was bribed with 25 bars. Uh, uh, to what was he was bribed to be the financial advisor to the niggas, and he was bribed with what was about like what was 60 bricks. So he was he was going to get paid quite a bit to be uh, the new financial advisor for the Negus, and that was about $600,000. So yeah, so a brick was about $10,000. So there you go. Star Trek uses gold press platinum, and it is highly valued by the Ferengis. They are absolutely in love with gold press platinum. They will fight, cheat, kill, do whatever they want to do or need to do in order to get some gold press platinum. That's what I think. I think even what's called. I almost called him Jake, and it's not Jake. What was Jake's best friend's name? Oh, it's Nog's son. Uh, Lord, I'm drawing a blank. Five-star track. Let me know. I know you know because what is his name? What's his name? Nog. Yeah, Nog was his name. Ron was his dad. There you go. Okay. Okay, it's been a long time since I apologize to the Star Trek fans. Y'all about to kill me. I know. So yeah, he had a business going. He was selling some sauce or something like that, and he thought he could get seven bars of gold press platinum per jar or something. So so that just tell you how valuable it was to the Ferengis. So gold press platinum. I would like some gold press platinum. I would like to have just a replica of it. I think that would be cool to show off and just to have around. So there you go. You got you have your gold press platinum and Star Trek. You have all these different credits and spice in Star Wars. You have just regular dollar bills in comics. And in cartoons, there's a variety of different forms of currency. So there you go. Currencies in cartoons, comics, and sci-fi. Let me know which one of these you knew, and let me know which ones you didn't. Did you know all of them? Just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so very much. I do appreciate the love, and it is great to be back and being back on the parallel universe in our new Square Table Studios. So thank you so very much, you guys. And as always, we'll see you in a parallel universe.